I meant toolbox, not fuel tank. It seems I can't look at something and then talk about something else without saying the words or the noun of the thing that I'm looking at. That's maybe that's it. I don't know, but we need to move the toolbox. Hello everybody, good day to you. Welcome back. Glad you guys are here. I know I am glad to be here. This right here is my 2007 Chevrolet Silverado 3500 dually 6.6 Duramax. I'm gonna do some reconfiguring of the current accessory package that I've got going on here. For those of you who have been around for quite some time, you know I've got this 90-gallon auxiliary diesel fuel tank in the back of the truck. Naturally, I have a toolbox in the back of the truck, and I've also got this headache rack right here that is bolted to the bed. Space has become a premium as I have been I found myself in a need for and have been shopping for a gooseneck flatbed trailer that I can tow with this. I need a larger trailer, and I'm entering into a weight level where I don't want to use bumper pull. So whenever I get around to acquiring another trailer unit, it's going to be a gooseneck. Now that being said, you can see from that that recessed hitch ball right there, I don't have a lot of space right here to actually accommodate the gooseneck trailer, and I'm afraid that if I end up on an incline, the trailer will interfere with the toolbox and smash the toolbox in. So I kind of have a bit of a problem here, and I think I have a solution. See, I don't want to lose the toolbox, and I don't want to move it and can't move it any farther forward, because when the box is opened, the lid swings up just a little bit and out, and it's going to take up that bit of space there, so I'm going to need that gap. Now, when I installed the fuel tank, I actually installed it slightly offset towards the rear. That way I'd have space for all the hose and everything to lay into. And it turns out that has become a catch-all for trash, and it's hard to keep clean. Additionally, that's a whole lot of wasted real estate. So I wanted to go ahead and move this fuel tank forward as far as I could. Now, as I was looking around at that, I noticed the placement of this headache rack. And you can see, based on the bolt patterns and based on this mount right here, this thing is as far forward as it can get. And that's eating up about 2 inches. Let me see if I can finger it here. Yeah, that's eating up about 2 inches of space that I have in the bed. So what I think I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna take this headache rack loose, and I'm gonna move that forward, either by modifying these existing mounts or installing a different type of mount. I actually have another mount kit for this particular headache rack, but I think if I just chop this off, I might be able to just slide this thing forward, have the front side of the rack flush with the front side of the bed. That's gonna free up 2 more inches. Then I can unbolt this fuel tank right down there, and then the other bolts are back here in the back. I think if I unbolt this fuel tank, I can slide that forward and have that thing flush with the edge of the bed as well. So I can potentially come up with about 6 more inches of space in this area right here. And that'll allow me more cargo area, and it'll also allow me the necessary space to accommodate a trailer. So I'm going to attempt to do that today. I don't know how well it's gonna work. I don't know if it's going to end up being one video or if it's going to be a complete failure, but we're going to give it a shot, so let's get to it. That's my plan. Let's see how this goes. Restarting the Duramax engine. Okay, it's looking like we have 227,226 miles on the odometer. That's a new one. All right, let's swing this bad unit on into the shop and start unbolting these components, and let's just see how well this situation is going to work out for us. Opening the hood. Gravity. All right, powering down. All right, so here's the plan. What we need to do is move the toolbox back, so I need to unbolt this thing. It's just held in right now with the 2 bolts. I think they're 14 mil. Let's get these guys disconnected. Unconnect. Yeah, we can leave the hardware in there. So we'll take those loose, knock the bolts out, and then we'll slide this thing all the way to the back of the bed. That'll give us some space. Then the hard part's going to be unbolting the fuel tank, because the bolts run through the bottom of the bed, and they were not easy to install like last year when I put them in. So we'll get this loose, we'll get the fuel tank loose, we'll move all that stuff back, and then I can get to the fasteners and bolts on this thing, take this thing apart, and figure out how to redo the mount system on this in order to move this forward just 1.5 inches. I understand this is a lot of work for inches, but when inches matter, it's important, and I need a couple extra inches. Okay, I've got a little punch here. Let's just knock these bolts down ever so slightly. They're gonna fall through and land in the bed, but I can reach down and retrieve them. Go through. I forced them in pretty good. There we go. Nope. Go out. Okay, that one's through. Let's get the other one on the other side, and then we can slide this toolbox back. Okay, over here on the driver's side, let us repeat procedure. Okay, so that short punch is not doing it for me, so I'm gonna try a different method here. I'll just use a longer one that used to be a chisel that I broke. Yeah, that's working. More. Got it. So now, this toolbox should just slide on back. Right? Maybe it's, oh, it's just heavy. It's heavy because it's full of chains and binders and whatnot. Let's go around up into the bed and pull it back. Moving on up. Let's see if I can do this solo. Yeah, we're good here. Up and over the wheel well. All the way back. You're gonna need all the space we can get in there. A little bit more. It's sitting on top of the wheel wells down there. See that? Let's give it a push. Oh yeah? Look, it's got little handles for me. That's cool. There we go. That's good. Kind of weird seeing a toolbox in the back of the truck. Okay, so now we can see, here's the tank. There's one of the bolts that I dropped. I need that for later. Let's fetch the other one. So the tank is attached to the floor of the bed. 2 bolts there. One on each side, and then one here, and then one there. All right, let's crawl down below and start working on those big bolts that are holding the fuel tank in position. Now, we're not gonna remove the fuel tank entirely. We're just gonna unbolt it and then move it, and then re-drill the holes, and then we'll go from there. Let's shine some light on the subject here so we can see what we're trying to see. There's one bolt coming through. There's 4 total. Just gonna go in there with an impact. Knock this guy out. Unclick, loud noises. Hey Troy, do me a favor. I need your assistance. Climb up in the bed, please. All right, here, what I need you to do is take these big pliers and hang on to that right there. That's gonna try to turn. See that lag bolt or whatever? That bolt, that carriage bolt, that's what it is. Yeah, just kind of hold on to that. Hold on to the little metal guy, yep. And then I'll go down and hit it with the gun. This would be really hard to do by myself. All right, you ready?
Yep.
Go ahead and pull it out if you can. Thank you, sir. Very good. Let's save that for later. We're gonna reuse this stuff. Put that right there. Okay, go to the passenger side, please. Do the same thing. All right, going in. I didn't bring the light. Sorry, guys. Look, my Banks Monster exhaust is still shiny. That's cool. Unclick. All right, 2 down, 2 to go. Okay, so this bolt and its counterpart over there, that's gonna be fun. Check this out. So those bolts were very difficult to install. Oh, got you guys sideways. We're in the wheel well. Now if you look down, see it right there? You gotta reach in with a ratcheting wrench and spin that guy loose manually. Now here's the catch. if I move that fuel tank forward, pay attention to this structure right here. If I move this fuel tank forward just so it meets this headache rack, then that bolt is going to come through right here at that structure. And if it does that, there's no way I'm going to be able to put a fastener on it. So I need to have that bolt back here on this side of that structure. And in order to do that, that's the reason we have to actually move this thing forward. It's the only way to make it all work the way I want it to work. So basically I have to do it the hard way or not at all. And so I choose the hard way. And since no power tools are going to achieve this, we've got to use the ratcheting wrenches. That's how it's got to be. Okay, we're hanging out in the wheel well again. I'm just going to go ahead and reach in here. It's tight, but I know it fits because this is how I installed this. I'm going to reach in here, get this thing on the fastener, and just going to have to spend a lot of time kind of working it. Unclickage. Am I going the right way? Am I tightening it? No, I'm loosening. Okay, we're good. I'm going to be here for a while. Yeah, especially if that thing keeps slipping off. Yep, quarter turn at a time. It's just how it's got to be. Getting them tight on the other side is going to be fun because it's a little tighter over there. Oh well, is what it is. All right, reaching in here. It's pretty loose. Finishing it off by hand. It is turning. Come on out. I don't want to drop it because I don't think I have any more of these types of fasteners here. These are nylock fasteners, so they can't back off. See the nylon on there? Okay, that one's out. Let's go over to the other side and repeat procedure. All right, we're rolling the rolly chair around the shop to the other side. Let's get that next bolt. Last bolt. Yeah, this is the easy part. Putting them in, there she is right back there. Yeah, putting them in is gonna be fun. I have to drill new holes and whatnot. Yay. Okay, you guys hang out right here. All right, going in for bolt number 2. Let's get this guy loose and removed. Unclickages. There we go. Same thing, back and forth for a little while. Okay. I think that's about it. Let me see if I can't reach in there and get this guy to come out by hand next. Another stupid tight squeeze. Yep, it's spinning. Kinda. Oh, it stopped. Scheisse. I need assistance. Mr. Troy, sir.
What's up?
Can you climb back up in this truck and stand on that bolt that's turning?
Yeah,
All right, I'll wait here. In the meantime, keep working it. It's the one near me in the back. Just kind of stand on it so it can't turn and move around. It's getting flippy floppy and it's becoming annoying. Yeah. It's almost all the way out. Thank you. I'm actually pulling on this wrench towards me to create a side load on that fastener, and that's increasing the friction and allowing the ratchet to ratchet. Let's see if I can't make it turn by hand. Nope. No, there appears to be some rust there. Extra friction. This is a hard one to do. I don't like it. Come on. Getting muscle fatigue in the arms here. Developing the noodle arm. That's gotta be it. We're so close. Come on, turn. Yep, it's turning. I know you guys can't see, really sorry. We are definitely engaged in close quarters combat here. Oh, hat off. There we go, got it, there it is. All right, sir, I'm good. Thank you. You can hop on out of there. All right, guys, let's get out of this wheel well. It's hot in there. Okie dokes. Pry bar coming in just to get some lift. Pop that bolt out. There we go. Good thing the tank's empty. Otherwise, it would weigh 1,000 pounds, and that's not okay. So now, all I really need to do with this fuel tank is just kind of slide it back. Mr. Troy,
what's up?
I need your assistance uno more times.
Uno más?
Yeah, one more. Just grab that little eyelet thing over there and start pulling the fuel tank back. Just slide her back. There we go. Oh, got the wire. That's probably good. That's enough.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all we really need to get in there and move this headache rack. We're good. Thank you, sir. Let's get that out of here. Junk. Fasteners. There's not that much debris in here. I thought there'd be a little bit more. This is good. A little bit of shop vac action going on here. Let's get all this crap out of here. Rocks and gravels and dirts and sands and ooh, a washer. We need that. Save that for later. And the leaves, of course. Clean it all out while we're here. Okay, so next task is going to be to get the this carriage bolt and the one on the other side out of the bed rail and off the mount for the headache rack. So I've got a 14 on an extension on a swivel. Real hard to reach those. They go up from the bottom. Tight squeeze-ish in there. Got the impact right here. Give it some up pressure so it can't slip. See if I can't get these guys to come out. And it's slipping. Not what I wanted to do. There we go. Thank you. See, I said please and it worked. Good. And carriage bolt, that's coming out. Save that for later. 2 down, or 1 down, 1 to go. Let's go over to the other side. All right, let us circumnavigate the truck, go to the other side and get that last bolt. And then the easy part will be over with. Let's see if we can't just do this with some ease here. Get that in there. Not even, and can't even find the thing. Nope. Here, you guys help me out. Tell me if I'm doing this right here. Yep, there's the fastener. Yeah, that worked. Couldn't have done it without you fellas. Thank you. Okay, got the washer, got the nut. Carriage bolt is out. The headache rack should be free now. I think it is. Let's find out. Yep, sure is. Let's scooch this thing back next. Troy, one more piece of assistance, sir. Yep, grab that headache rack and scoot it back. We're gonna slide it back just like everything else. There we go, that's good. Yeah, we see here, there's the space in the bed, and there's that little plate thing that was butting up against this, keeping the entire assembly from going forward and flush with the top of the bed rail. That's what we're here to eliminate. So, as I mentioned earlier, rather than taking this apart and cutting it up and modifying it, I just have another different type of mount. It's actually gonna not include that little spacer or that little stop thing, and it's actually gonna raise this up 3/4 of an inch. That's also kind of gonna be cool because it'll allow for the slot right here that's supposed to allow for the third brake light. It'll raise that up and put that right in the center, so it'll make everything fit just a little bit more tight. And that's what we want. We like tight squeezes. Tight fits, that's what I meant, tight fits. We like tight fits. Flush fits, clean installations. There we go, that's the words we're looking for. And I do not have a functioning vocabulary on Saturday. Let's pull this guy apart. Carriage bolt, unclick. There we go. On top of the fuel tank, save that for later. Let's pull this guy out. Now what I'm gonna do so this thing doesn't just fall over is I'm just gonna change the mounts one side at a time. So I can lean this up, get this bottom mount, this mount off. I'll swap it out with the new mount on that's sitting over there on top of the tank, and then I can go to that side and then swap that mount out as well. That's probably the safest way to do this. So let's see if this bottom bracket mount is going to come off of the rack here. So kind of tap it out. Victory. Yes, it is. Bolt fell. My concern was when the bolt was squeezing in on this, it was going to bend this in and kind of crush it some, and basically just meld the two together so they would not be serviceable or removable or replaceable. And that's not the case. So right here, this is the a piece of the new mount. I'll compare it with the old mount. You can see what the difference is going to be here. So they both sit on the flush on the frame rails, like words. So these are both going to sit on the frame rail, just like so. But you'll see this mount does not have this extra piece of metal in here, which is going to interfere with the front of the bed. So that's the only reason I'm replacing these. There's really no other reason to replace them except for better fitment. And that's what I hope to achieve here. Slide that thing in. Looks pretty good. Okay. Now, additionally, there's another piece of this type of mount, and that is like a vertical spacer. It's going to raise it up just a wee bit. Right about there is pretty much how that's going to sit. So now let's get the original hardware back in this. I'm not going to bolt it down just yet. I just want to temporarily secure this because I want to decide whether to put this carriage bolt in from the back and have it pointed at the cab, or put it in from the front and just have it pointed at the rear. So what we can do now, since this is temporarily kind of put together, let's go over to the other side and change out this particular bracket. And again, we will circumnavigate a Silverado. And since we went around the back side last time, we'll just go around the front side this time. Just for fun. Okay, again, let's go ahead and pull the bolt out. Saving the hardware. I have other new hardware that came with that new bracket, but this hardware works just fine, so I don't see a need to break into it. Let's get, whoa, that was almost a catastrophe. New bracket. There we go. And let's try the bolt from this side just to see how it looks. Hey, Mr. Troy, one more time on the other side, please. We're gonna slide this headache rack forward and see how it fits. Do not slide the unit left or right. There's no flange on these mounts anymore, so it can actually fall right off, and that would be bad. So just slide it forward. We're gonna make it flush with the front of the bed. Okay. See that? Yeah. Actually, make the backside flush. See right here? Make the backside flush. So forward a little bit farther, a little farther, a little farther. Whoa! Don't let it fall. Okay, that's actually a really, really tight squeeze. But the space has been freed up. I think I like it like this. Yeah, we're gonna do it like this. That's where it's gonna get parked. And I also think I'm gonna run the carriages in from the front, pointing back. I don't want those nuts sticking out and potentially breaking my glass. That would be bad. Well, now that we've decided on how this is gonna be configured, let's put the spacer in and just lift this up just a wee bit. I'm gonna do this very carefully. I don't want it to slide off and fall and break my glass and scratch the paint and ruin the bed. There's lots of bad things that can happen here. So that's ultimately how it's gonna look. That'll be the finalized mounting configuration. So we've got an updated mount and this little spacer. This is actually designed for trucks that have like a tonneau cover, you know, those flush mount bed covers, and that's the purpose of this little spacer. I think I like it. I think it should stay. I don't know if I like that gap or not, but I do like that this is raised up a little bit more, because I can also take this overhead light bar and mount it here and not have it be so high up. So actually by raising this up, I can get less overall height out of the vehicle, because I'll just mount this right here and it'll sit right in line with the top of the cab. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, we're gonna keep this configuration just like that. So I'm looking around trying to figure out how to bolt this down, and there's a problem. See, the other style mount, we just drilled a new hole in it and ran a carriage bolt through it. But it turns out that there happens to be a stake pocket right here in this location where all the bolt holes are. And I have looked at the instructions and the package of hardware and found that they have some kind of goofy special hardware set up here. Basically a bolt with a rod welded to it and a big washer. What we need to do is use this particular hardware to bolt down that mount. It's going to drop into the stake pocket like so, and then it passes through the hole. See how that works? And then we bolt it on from the inside. So I'm going to have to use this hardware to secure those mounts and brackets and whatnot to the bed. So I need to figure out how to get this in here without dropping this thing down. I think I can just pick it up and then slide this thing in and push it through the hole, but let's see. Okay, so actually I think there's enough to just slide it. Let me try to slide this over. Yeah, that's kind of that's a little scary. It's like right on the edge over on the other side. Dropping the goofy hardware thing down in the stake pocket. Please go in. Tight squeeze on this one. Come on. There it goes, it's in. Okay. Through the hole, and on the other side we've got a big washer, a small lock washer, and then the nut. So let's get this kind of mocked up. Uh-oh, I grabbed the wrong lock washer. Be right back. No. Troy's looking at me like, what are you talking about? And I said, it's the long washer. The long washer, sure. Like Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire? Worcestershire? Worcestershire. You don't even know what that is. You don't know what Worcestershire sauce is?
It sounds like a Harry Potter reference.
No, it's not a Harry Potter thing. Okay, so I'm gonna slide the rack back over so it doesn't fall off. We'll pick this up, slide it over that bolt fastener thing. I think that's the right hole. Yes, it is. Okay. Cool. It's in. Sort of. Compressor. Yeah, it's sort of in. Okay. Okay, let's throw some hardware on this just so it can't fall over and come out. It's gonna mostly secure this thing. Now we can go to the other side and repeat procedure. And we need to shut off that compressor. It's loud and annoying. Let's kill that thing real quick. Powering down. Okay. Got the hardware in hand. Moving back around to the passenger side. Let's repeat the same procedure. Real quick. Let's flip around this carriage bolt over here. I feel a lot better knowing that now this thing can move around without falling off. I was a little bit scared. Not totally scared, but moderately. Scared enough to be alarmed. There we go. Okay. Pick it up. Actually, no. Undo. Let's pick it up and prop it up. Because I need to get this goofy hardware thing installed. See how this is gonna work. It's not working like that at all. Everything I just did was not okay. Where'd that washer go? Okay, let's get this thing down in the stake pocket, just like the other side. We got the washer for that side going on, the lock washer for that side going on, and then the big bolt nut going on. How's that configured? Pretty good, okay. A little better. Let's see, where'd that mount go? Okay, that's in, I think it was on the second hole on the other side. Let's slide that guy in. We'll pick this up And start positioning everything. And a little bit more up and some over, down and through. It's like tying your shoes. Okay. Well, that's not right because there's this gap looking thing here. I need to move it over one more bolt hole. It is wrong. Reverse. There we go. That's what we're looking for. There we go. Very nice. Good fitment. All right, fasteners coming in, washer, lock washer, and the nut. Good. All right, so I'm going into the inside of the bed here. Loud noise is incoming. I'm gonna tighten up the large bolt on that little goofy special fastener and draw that thing in so it's all nice and secure. Loud noises. Click. Okay, let's square this thing off and get it aligned properly. Which I think that's pretty good. Let me go check the other side. We're mostly flush here. We're mostly flush here going that way. And the edge of this little spacer is following the little line right here at the top of the bed rail. Let's go check the other side and make sure that that fitment looks good. If it's good, we'll lock down the other side, then we'll come over here and lock this side down as well. So it's pretty close. Flush, flush, mostly flush. I don't think it's gonna move over any farther. That's a negative. Okay, well that looks pretty good. From the back of the cab, that looks flush. And comparing to the other side, very similar. I think the unit's over that way, just like maybe a quarter of an inch. I'm trying to eyeball reference points. Yeah, it's like a quarter inch this way. But I don't know if I can slide it or not. Yeah, not with the mounts. I think that's good. I'm good with that, no worries. Okay, let's go ahead and lock this one down next, and then we'll lock down the bulkhead bolts. We should be good to go with this section. Let's lock it down a little bit. It's pretty good. And let's do the same thing on the other side. All right, repeat procedure on the driver's side. Let's see how this is going to even up. Square that off again. It moved when I was impacting. Visually, we all look good here. Let's start tightening some things up. See how it works out. Okay. All right, cool, this is working out. So now I just need to tighten down these two carriage bolts that secure the bulkhead to the brackets, which I can't do with this because the angles of our dangles are incorrect. We need a wobble. Put that on there. 3/8 wobbly. Let's get this guy on here. We love the wobbly bits. Full send. Very good. All right, that's nice and tight. Let's do the other side real quick like. Get this guy bolted on. Sweet. Okay. Headache rack. That's very secure. That's not going anywhere. That's what it's for. So now we've gained some extra space to fit the fuel tank. So let's slide this fuel tank forward. We'll go down, mark the holes where they need to be drilled in the bed. We'll drill the holes out with a step bit, put the bolts in, and then we can do the same procedure with the rear mounts on the fuel tank. All right, up and over. Let's climb in here and we'll just kick this tank forward. Like I said, it's empty. I'm glad it is. Because doing this with the tank being full was never gonna work out. Never, never. Slide that guy right all the way flush and forward. Perfect. Get over there. No! You thought you were going to escape. You were wrong, socket. You were wrong. A little bit farther. Just a wee bit more. Looking good. Alrighty, so now we need to get to the drilling portion where I need to drill the holes for the bolts. So what I'm gonna have to do is mark those holes and then actually move this thing back and then drill the holes and then put it back where it's supposed to be. So I will do that with some just red spray paint. Okay, so I'm gonna come in here with some red paint. I'm just gonna blast through that hole. That was completely ineffective. That did not work out the way I wanted it to. It was too much paint. So since it didn't work the first time, we'll try it again a second time. Yes, I do plan on going over this again with some black paint. It's just a good marker. There we go. All right. A little more. There we go. That's one. Let's get the other one done. Drill the daylights out of it. There, now it's through. Beautiful. Okay, time to close the gap yet again. We'll get these first two bolts installed. And then we'll do the other side, the rear side, the back side. We'll do it in the front first, then we'll do it in the back. That's what I'm trying to say. All right, give it a push. Leg power, foot power, knee power. Better than lower back power. Yep. Pretty close. Almost there, or like. Okay, we've got one of the fasteners in place here. Slip that guy down in. Okay, it's in. It's at a bit of an angle. No worries. Let's see if the other side's gonna fit in, and then we'll go from there. Now, I do believe that my ichrometer got these pretty close. And if not, we'll figure that out, won't we? Push that forward some. It is pretty close. It's close enough. It's through the hole. Okay. So bottom side, we'll get two fasteners on that, and then we can drill the holes, or check for the holes and make sure it's all gonna work out over here. And then we can we'll bolt down the back side. Okay, so I have a slight bit of a problem. See, here's the old bolt hole, okay? Now, when I first put this tank in, this right here, that was the bolt hole that I first drilled. And I realized I was making a huge error in that, because the first one that I drilled, that hole was actually in the middle of this piece of structure right here. Now, after having moved the bed, I was hopeful to get the alignment hole slightly forward of that structure, and that's not gonna work. So what I'm gonna do is, I think I'm gonna take a piece of 1/4-inch plate steel that I have, and I actually got one piece right here. I'm gonna take a piece of this plate steel, and we're gonna set this down over top of that flange, and I'm going to drill a hole in it and use the same bolt hole that I was using. So I'll sandwich that on like so, and I'll weld it to this flange that's actually on the tank. I'll put a weld right here on that tank, and then I can use this piece of steel to bolt down and secure this half of it. So I'm gonna need to cut this thing in half, and then we'll get it in position and then weld it together, and then drill a hole in it, and that is what I'm gonna use to secure the back side of this fuel tank. It might be a little bit overkill, but it's kind of the only option that I have. I can't leave the thing just sitting there, so let's go get this thing set up over here in the vise. We'll cut her in half, we'll drill a hole in it, and then we'll go over and weld that thing to that little flange. We'll see how this works out. Now, I'm no welder, but I'm gonna try. Yes, I can weld on that little tab thing. I'm not welding into the tank, I'm not welding the tank, I'm just gonna weld it on that little flat thing, so it'll be okay. I'm not gonna explode, we're not gonna die, and we're certainly not gonna burn down the Duramax. No. Okay, here at the vise, let's get the piece of plate in here, and we'll go ahead and mark it up, and then get the cut made. Fortunately, I need exactly 6 inches on both sides, and this is a 12-inch piece of plate steel. So if we can use this, it'll be highly effective. my builder square out. We'll mark it at 6. It's actually Cliff's builder square, not mine. Mark it at 6 inches. Yes, it's marked. Go ahead and draw the line. That's going to be our cut. So we've got 2 sides, one for each little flange. And oh, do I cut it with the Sawzall or the demo saw? Do the Sawzall. It's probably best. We're gonna do this in super light speed, ultra fast motion. Start the cut. Yeah, it's going. Got it. Okay, so we now have 2 pieces of plate steel. Let's get them mocked up in position. We'll drill a hole in them, weld them on, bolt them down, and then fuel tank will be secure. So what we're gonna do, set that down, and we can go ahead and mark where exactly the center line for that cut is supposed to be, or for the hole actually. We'll measure the center over here. That way the bolt's not offset to one side or the other. Let's go get this side set up, and we'll mark that one as well. Get all the depth marked on it, and then get our hole drilled. So right about there looks good. Just like that. All right. All right, back at the vise. Let's put this thing back in here. I think this is 3 inches wide, 4 inches. That's easy. So we're 4 wide, and then right here's our mark we made for our depth. It's gonna be at the 2-inch mark right here. So that's where we drill the hole. Very good. Oh no, you guys couldn't see. I'm a terrible cameraman. Yes, good. Okay, so seeing how this is actually a step bit, the bottom of this hole is slightly smaller than the top, so we're just going to come in from the bottom side and finish it off. There we go. Now it's a uniform hole. So that one's good. Get the other plate switched out, and we'll drill a hole in that one next. Plate numero 2 coming in. Come on, you piece of junk. More. Nice. Ow, hot shards of metal. Welding next to a 90-gallon fuel tank. Welding onto a 90-gallon fuel tank. Who'd have thought? Okie dokes, there's our steel, there's our hole, here's our bolt. I'm gonna run the bolt in the hole just to make sure everything stays aligned like it should be. Get in there, bolt. Go to your home, just like so. Got some vice grips here. We're gonna vice grip the piece of paneling to the flange. There we go. Now I've got something to connect my ground side to the welder to, and I can weld right in here. So you guys put your helmets on. I've got my helmet on. Let's get this thing buzzed in, welded on, and then we can bolt it down, shall we? Beginning welding now. Need more wire speed. More wire. Turn that up to 4 and see how she buzzes. Trying again, weld number 2, going back in. There we go. Maybe I can weld after all. Yeah, that's on there. That's good. That's real good. Let's connect a ground wire over here. I can finish off that one and then we'll weld that other side. It's working. I'm a real welder now. Fire! Nice, nice, nice. Okay, let me move this one more time. Bring it over here, connect it on. Yeah, we'll do one more weld. Actually, I need to clamp it over here first and draw that flange into the panel. It's kind of sticking up a little bit. Ow, that was hot. Clamp it down. Click. I'll do a tack first. We'll do one tack weld on it, and then I'll reposition my clamp here, and then do another proper weld. Stay. Fire. There we go. That piece of panel is attached. It's welded on. I think I did a good job. My welds look good. I need to break away the slag or whatever. Clean that up. Both sides, wire brush it, and I'll hit it with some spray paint. That should be good to go. So now, we just need to move over here. Do the same thing on the other side with the other plate. Get that one welded on, and then we can bolt this thing down, and it will be secure and safe and all that good stuff. So let us make sure proper alignment is achievable here. Get that guy down into position. Gonna go in. Yeah. Yeah, that'll work just fine. Clamp that guy down. Ground connection. Tack weld number 1, beginning now. Woohoo. Oh, that one's a little high. I don't think I got good penetration into the plate at the bottom. Let me do one more beat on this. I don't like it. There, I like that though. Truck's on fire. Okay, now we can go down below, get the nuts in these bolts, and secure this entire unit. Then the fuel tank will be completely bolted in on all 4 corners. I've got the nuts on the front side, not on that front side, but no nuts on the back side, and none of them are tight yet. All right, so listen guys, we're gonna do the exact same thing that I just did when we started this video. I'm gonna reach in this hole here and put this washer and these nuts on, but we're not gonna video all that because you already saw it coming apart, and it's laborious. So we're just gonna skip right past that part. So I'll be right back after I pick my nuts up off the ground. Stay tuned, don't go anywhere. Alrighty folks, so I skipped ahead. This thing has it's been secured on all 4 corners. We've got these guys bolted down. I need to wire brush these welds real quick and throw some spray paint on there. Once that's all nice and cleaned off, then we'll go ahead and slide the toolbox forward, get that in position, drill a couple holes where the mounts go, bolt that thing down, and then we'll clean up the mess, get everything put away, and this modification will be complete. Yeah, that's what we'll call it, modification. You see, I don't want to call it an installation because the thing's already been installed. We're just modifying the install, so to speak. So I guess, yeah, modification, that sounds good. Let's get all this nasty brushed off of here. Goodbye, slag, or flux and slag, whatever you want to call it. Nice prep work, huh? Throw some spray paint on it. Tractor Supply, $3 a can, El Cheapo spray paint. I'll have to paint it again later, but you know, whatever. Nasty. Yeah, see, my welds aren't that bad. Look at that. That's okay, isn't it? I'm sure it's fine. Good enough for me. There we go. Nice and shiny-ish. Beautiful. Okay, let's slide the fuel tank back in position here and then bolt this thing down. I'm ready to get out of here. Let's get done. I meant toolbox, not fuel tank. It seems I can't look at something and then talk about something else without saying the words or the noun of the thing that I'm looking at. That's maybe that's it. I don't know, but we need to move the toolbox.
Whoa, whoa. Here I come. Oh, here I come.
Back to where it goes on top of the fuel tank. There we go. So let's just push it and slide it and get it right where it's supposed to be. We probably should button up this nozzle real quick. Details that I seem to have forgotten about. Ruh-roh. Let's put this back up into its home where it goes. Okay, toolbox, let's get you back where you're supposed to be, and I need to bring it up and over the humps. So it looks like I'm climbing it again. Raw. I've got to pick up on it. Probably just pull it up and over. Come on, box. Right about there, says I. Good. Okay, so what we need to do, open this up so we can set the clearance for where it has to be in relation to the tank. That way the lid can open without obstruction. Click. Twice, click. Beautiful. Toolbox is super secure. Bolted down, 2 bolts, 1 on each side. That's enough to hold the toolbox down. We still have our gap right here. That gap is going to fit the fuel hose and the nozzle, so we can hang that back up and stow that thing. I need to untuck these wires and then put them somewhere else. I have yet to wire the new light bar that's up there, so I just kind of had them sitting down in a hole. I'll deal with that later. That's a side project. We're about done here. Everything fits super nicely. I have much more bed space than what I had before, probably about 6 inches. Let's measure this. I want to see if I at least have a 6.5 foot bed now. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. 6.5 foot is significant because most modern trucks only get a 6.5 foot bed. So if I can achieve 6.5 feet out of this, oh no, it's only 5 feet 2 inches. All right, well, I'm a little bit short of the average. No worries, I'll be okay. I have trailers, it compensates. Let's stow away the hose and make sure that's all gonna work out okay. And then we'll hang up the nozzle, clean the tools out of the bed of the truck, and I'm going home. Let's see how this fits. Oh, that's nice. Nice and compact. Oh, I like it. I like it a whole lot. Actually, this is gonna have to go over here like that. There. Now we have space for when this toolbox gets open. It won't run into the hose or anything like that. So this is good. We're in good shape here. All right, guys, I'm all done. It's time to go. It's a Saturday. I've been here all day tinkering with things. I'd like to stop tinkering with things. I'm getting out of here. So that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and close this video out. I'll do that, as always, by thanking each and every one of you for watching my video. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy this video on my Dirty Max, please feel free to let me know about that by tapping that like button down below. Drop me a comment or two while you're down there. And most importantly, do not forget to have yourselves a great day. See you guys later. Into transmission, into Silverado, into toolbox, fuel tank relocation, into video, end of weekend.